All right, comic fam, I want to get into some comic books that are underappreciated. I want to get into some comic books that you may not know about. And if you are a newer member of the community and you're not really looking to drop $1,000 on a book or, go 13 grand into a 9.8, Master of Kung Fu, we have some other comics in the community that are worth taking a look at. Dude, it's not all about big money in comics. It's not all about spending money. It's about reading. It's about, collecting. And collecting isn't always about money as well. Sometimes you want books just because they're awesome and they mean something to you. You have those types of books in your collection.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I want to read a book, I'm not going to read my vintage book. I'll read the reprint of the collectible. Sure. Okay, or I'll wait for the trade paperbacks to come out because I just want to read it. I think there's room for both. But
what about a collectible that you purchased that may not be super expensive, but you keep it in your PC because it means something to you?
Oh man, absolutely. I got like an Ultimate X-Men graphic novel made out to Jeff.
like it's like a signed book.
I have like comics from when I was a kid that are like beat up to heck. I mean, absolutely. There's things. I loved a series called Low that Image did. I bought artwork for that. Because I have the trade paperbacks. I loved what Image was putting out at the time. I have a ton of trades that I really enjoyed to read. So absolutely.
So I wanted to take some opportunity throughout our podcast, and we'll keep this going. Comic fam, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this. I want to showcase some books that you can find on the hunt. If you're a new collector, maybe $1, 50 cents even. Some that aren't even on Key Collector because Key Collector has a certain threshold of what makes its way onto the app because it's got to be a collectible. It's got to be a key, right? So these books, you're gonna be able to find on eBay for under $5. I think one of them, they're starting to be listed for 15, but that's how some of these go. They start to become more favorable in the community because members are buying them and then they go, oh damn, what's going on with that one? Yeah, I need that. And I want to chat about those books because today we're chatting Marvel Age comic books, okay? Marvel Age comic books. How would you even describe this, Jeff? Because this is like they are comics because they are comic sized, but and sometimes they have previews of books in them with actual pages of stories. One of the books that we're going to chat about here actually has pages of a story, but they're kind of like a solicitation, if anything.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at this list that you're talking about. So we're not even talking about multiple different books. We're talking about just all in one title even. So this is just going to be the title Marvel Age.
Yeah, Marvel Age, and we have a handful of them that I wanted to point out to the members.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it's a solicitation. It's like a preview guide. It talks about the industry of what's coming, kind of a hype book almost.
But it's in comic form, which makes it an awesome collectible. It fits in your long box, and really that is a thing that matters. Well, some members may not know that Boba Fett's first appearance, although many spec and the money goes to in mass to Star Wars 42 because that's his first comic-sized appearance. It's the magazine. What is that? The
Special Marvel Edition 16, I believe.
That's the one that he actually debuted in. CGC will put the first appearance on the magazine, not Star Wars 42. I find it interesting, but comic size matters to collectors, and that's why that 42 goes for so much money, regardless of what CGC says.
Marvel Special Edition 16.
Thank you. That's what it is. Yeah. It's because we're talking about the Marvel Super Special here. All right. Well, we're chatting about Marvel Age right now, comic-sized solicitations. The first book we're going to chat about is Marvel Age 33 that debuted in 1985 in December. And this is notable because X Factor 1 would be solicited in this Marvel Age comic book, marking it the first appearance of X Factor in a solicitation on the cover of the old team that debuted in Uncanny X-Men #1. So X Factor would debut in February the following year. And this is a notable team up because it included the old team, but a very important character that hadn't been seen in quite some time. Why was this so important in comics?
Well, when you talk about old team, we got to remember it's the Angel, okay? It's Iceman, Beast, Cyclops, and Jean Grey.
That's right. And the death of Jean Grey is one akin to Gwen Stacy. You don't mess with the death of Gwen Stacy, right? You don't mess with the death of Jean Grey. And to Chris Claremont's chagrin, they did bring her back. And in issue number 33 of Marvel Age, they had the task of the solicitation of an upcoming title. But I think they were hit with the problem of we can't reveal that Jean Grey's back. Like, people don't expect us to do this, and they're going to be upset. Like, there's going to be a split. There's going to be a divide in the community. So they had to come up with a really unique way to communicate this. And we have a letter from the editor, essentially, that was, it must have been written just months prior to the release of X Factor 1 because it was fresh. You know, he's chatting about the creative process. We have Mike Carlin, and they had a very unique way of keeping this secret under wraps.
All right.
You want to take a look at this thing? Yeah. Describe what you're looking at here, Jeff. We pulled up a page of it.
Okay. X Factor, classified, guys. Dun, dun, dun.
So what does this look like?
The heck is that?
All right, so you're looking at right now like a sheet that's from like the FBI, CIA, right? And it's been redacted to all hell. Like, let me read you some of these quotes I wrote down for this bit. So the Mutant Report, it says, classified. We'd like to tell you that there is, we'd like to tell you all there is to know about X Factor, but we can't. It's just too big of an occasion, too momentous, too surprising of a reveal. So here's like a line from the article. And this is just the writer speaking. You got to assume he just wrote this out. It doesn't actually look like it was planned to be redacted. He said, who are the members exactly? Beast, the Angel, Iceman, Cyclops, and blank. Basically, the discovery of blank blank will be the catalyst for blank for the X Factor forming. And the meeting will leave Scott Summers emotionally devastated because of blank blank. I mean, there are literally lines upon lines. There's like 8 lines right here on the screen that Jeff's looking at of just blocks of black that they redacted. And this is probably my favorite part.
Dude, this is some of the dumbest blankety blank stuff I've ever seen. Like, come on, you got to be drinking your own Kool-Aid if you're going to be publishing an article and redacting lines. Like, give me a break. Just don't put it up if you can't. Like, I mean, look at this.
We have an image of the team, but they couldn't reveal the whole team.
Right. Beast is not furry, so whatever. But who do you think that is?
So we have Cyclops, Beast, Angel, and Iceman, of course. But then we have the silhouette of Jean Grey. Clearly, like Scott Summers' arm is around her, but they just like photoshopped her out. And back then they probably just cut her out of the page and just put green over her. But this is a cool book. It's a dollar bin book. I find it fascinating that they redacted a bunch of stuff. There's a little bit more history to it. And yeah, it's the first appearance of the X Factor, the third new team, if you would. All right, so Marvel Age 74, we have Moon Knight on the cover, but looking at this solicitation, what do you see? Because it does have a preview for a very important West Coast Avengers story in issue 45.
Yeah, like, look, West Coast Avengers is a cover swipe from Avengers 57, okay? Vision's first appearance. But we get to see him white, all right? But here, he's solicited as being all red.
That's right. Well, they didn't want to give it away.
I don't know. I just don't think they knew. Because the red is kind of cool, but I wonder if it's, like, too ominous or maybe felt too, like, Mephisto, or maybe they just weren't sure. Are we going with the red, the white? I'm not sure why you would put even red at all if you weren't thinking about red.
Well, see, I think they knew. I mean, at this point, the book was already drawn. This is months prior to release. So they made him red to tease that changes are going to hit the West Coast Avengers storyline. The Vision is back, but what makes him so frighteningly different? And it's the fact that he's a different color and that he was going to come back without his brain waves. He was going to be less of the android we knew and more of the android that we would assume.
And that's probably why they use that word frighteningly to make, he's got the red there. So maybe it just looks, like I said, more intimidating.
So regardless, he is here. He's present. This is the cover of West Coast Avengers 45. This is the White Vision, although he's not white on the page, but still a dope book nonetheless for Moon Knight fans and members who enjoyed WandaVision.
So this is the first appearance of Red Vision. Infrared Vision.
Infrared Vision as the White Vision that would later debut in issue number 45 of West Coast Avengers. Shout out. All right, next book on this list, we have Marvel Age 114. I have some pictures of this book. You got to see this, man. It is freaking wild because this book is now being listed a little bit more on eBay, like $20, maybe $30, because people are catching on to this one. But this book, it debuted in July 1992. Let me take you through some important dates here. ASM 361, first appearance of
Carnage.
In full on the cover. April 1992 is when Carnage debuted. Then on issue 362, we also have a Carnage cover, and that debuted the following month in May. And then we have his third cover in June of that same year in issue number 363. Well, 364 doesn't have Carnage on the cover. And in July, we have Marvel Age 114. This right here would mark, I mean, first off, a great cover of the Spider-Man's like rogues gallery of villains, right? But we do have Carnage in the back, marking this as the 4th Carnage cover. And some members may not think that's huge, but for the 4th appearance of Carnage on a cover, I think it's notable, especially if you can find it for $1. However, this is right around the time that Spider-Man 2099 would debut. Now, you know Spidey 2099's first appearance in?
Amazing Spider-Man 365.
Absolutely. And members are going to look at this spread here that features Spider-Man 2099, and they're going to scoff a little bit, right? This is a preview. This is a solicitation. But what is in Spider-Man 365, which is known and accepted as the first appearance of Spidey 2099? Is that not a preview? It literally is a preview. It says that on the CGC label. If that is a preview and counts as a first appearance, how is a solicitation not notable? I'm not saying it's his first full appearance. I'm not even calling it a cameo appearance, but the fact that he's on page, how is that not something collectors could get excited about?
So the one in 365 is preview.
Absolutely.
That's how it's labeled.
That's
and
how
this
it's
is a
labeled.
preview in a preview.
It's a preview in a preview. Inception style.
Okay. This is a whole bunch of just ridiculousness, first of all. That 4th appearance of Kava Carnage, I could give a freaking care.
Jeff doesn't care.
Yeah, 2099, maybe.
You like the 2099? I mean, it's a full page spread right there.
Yeah, that's him, you know. Preview, cameo. I mean, where are we going with all of this? I don't know, but
we're talking about dope books that the members can hunt for that are affordable.
$4. It's dang worth it.
There you go. I wouldn't pay more than that. You know, some members I'm seeing it listed as the first cover appearance of Carnage on eBay. I don't know where they're getting that from. I do understand that some of these solicitations may have hit the stands maybe prior than some issues and, you know, maybe a couple months prior. I've heard that rumor before, but I go by the date. It literally says the date right on the cover that it's in July. So may not be as exciting of a thing, but I do think that both of those things combined for symbiote collectors matter. All right. And then let's take a look at Marvel Age 117, just a couple issues later. We have a handful of first appearances on the cover in solicitation, but this cover is so cool, man. I've always loved it. We have 3 major characters in the Marvel universe looking down at 3 other very cool characters, futuristic characters of the same. What are we looking at?
We're looking at Punisher. We're looking at Spidey. We're looking at Doctor Doom.
And who are they looking down on?
They're looking at their future selves.
2099 appearances. We got the Punisher,
Right.
we got Doctor Doom, and we got Spidey 2099 on the cover. Early cover appearance, sure. And then we also got this guy here. I don't even remember who that is.
I can't remember. I feel terrible that I don't remember.
Comic Fam, help us out. I can't remember the bottom right character of
I can
this page.
see the book in my head.
I know, I can't too.
Night something? Night Stalker?
Night Stalker? It's killing me right now.
Look it up.
Let's not
Google
look it up. No, I don't want to Google it. We're going to let the Comic Fam comment down below, help with the algorithm, hit the like button while you're down there. We got to get to, and this is the first appearance of those characters in solicitation. All right, let's take a look at Marvel Age 137.
I think that's the first appearance of Blanca before he became.
It could be, man. It could be. All right, Marvel Age 137. We have the first time the Spider-Man animated versions of the characters hit a comic cover in solicitation. And I mentioned this one because Spider-Man Adventures, you know, the adaptation done in comic form, issue number, I believe it's 8 and number 9, cameo in full of Venom from the animated series, that spiked up a couple years ago. The books still go for like $20+. So because of that similarity to like the Harley Quinn appearance being important to collectors, I felt that this was worth throwing on there, because if you can find this for $1, I'd snag it all day. You got Venom looking all brutish on there. You got the Shocker, and it's done in the animated style, just like the cartoon. I love the cartoon.
I could see this as a something you should grab. I mean, you see for $1. I mean, you got, like you said, animated Venom. It's a cool cover. Shocker on there as well. Spidey. For $1, I bought worse for $1.
Comic fam, let me know what kind of cheap comic books that you like to hunt for. Just when you're going to conventions, looking in those dollar bins, looking in those quarter bins. It's not all about really expensive comics. It's not even all about speccing on comics. It's about cool ones you can add to your collection. I think these are all ones that I would grab for $1 if I found them. And I think a lot of members would agree. If you don't, Jeff didn't agree with me on all of these, and that's okay. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts.